Creativity is only limited by imagination, and bringing those imaginations to life was never so easy before. Professional equipment like camera sliders, dolly systems, or aerial shots could only be afforded by professional filmmakers in the past. But today's technology enables easy and affordable access to these equipment, opening huge opportunities of creativity. Hello everyone. Today's video is slightly different. It's not about quadcopters that we usually talk about on this channel, but it's still something about capturing amazing videos. Here are a few shots that I captured aerially, and if you notice, one of the things that makes an aerial shot so captivating is the fact that the camera is always moving, giving it a dynamic perspective, and the results are much more immersive when compared to videos captured from a stationary camera. Now, what if I wanted to add a similar effect to a non-aerial shot, like my regular videos of objects, products, and people that I shoot with my DSLR? That's where a slider comes into picture, allowing smooth camera movements for short distances. It's made of bracketed tracks that has a movable carriage that can be attached to a camera. But don't let the short distance undermine the effectiveness of the slider. There's a lot that can be achieved within a couple of feet of distance. And this subtle camera movement can breathe life into an otherwise mundane shot. If you enjoy videography, then you'll certainly appreciate what this tiny little thing is capable of. I have been looking for a nice slider for a long time, but the one thing that's been putting me off is the size. If you want something small and portable that is easy to carry around and still gives you access to a respectable length of buttery smooth footage, take a look at Edelkrone sliders. These are premium sliders, slightly on the expensive side, but then again, you're paying for the best. Edelkrone has a total of 6 sliders to choose from, and this range varies across two main features: the length, which is the maximum distance your camera can travel on the slider, and the weight, which is the maximum load carrying capacity of the slider. These 6 sliders are broadly classified into two categories: the regular version and the pro version. The regular version has a travel distance of 1.3, 2, and 2.6 feet with a carrying capacity of 8, 6, and 4 kilograms respectively, whereas the Pro version has a travel distance of 1.6, 2.3, and caps out at a maximum of 2.9 feet, and the carrying capacities are 14, 12, and 10 kilograms respectively. The one thing to notice about these sliders is that the travel distance is inversely proportional to the carrying capacity, which means when you choose a larger slider, you're sacrificing on the weight carrying capacity, as the weight capacity is minimum on the largest slider and maximum on the smaller ones, and this is applicable even on the Pro versions. So it makes sense to first gauge the overall weight of your camera unit, including all additional peripherals, and then decide to pick the length that suits you best. The one I'm using today is the medium version, which is also the most popular version sold among these sliders. Reasons to choose the medium version is that it's easier to carry, has enough travel distance, and for the camera that I use, which is a cropped sensor Nikon DSLR, the D3200, this one is more than sufficient, and I do not have any additional peripherals apart from the fluid head. However, I do plan to upgrade to a full-frame DSLR soon, and even then the medium version should suffice my requirements adequately. So it's time to choose the right tripod for your slider. You can of course use it without a tripod by placing it on a flat surface, but when you mount it on a tripod is when you unlock the maximum potential of this tool, because that's when it travels double the distance of its actual length, which is Edelkrone's USP that you paid a premium price for. If you have one of these old tripods lying around in the corner catching dust, forget about them. You will need something much more professional to mount the slider on. Mainly because the tripod's mounting platform needs to be large enough so it can counterbalance when the slider extends to the extreme ends without sagging or tipping over. And also, the smaller screw size on entry-level tripods will not fit into the female thread of the slider. You will need a detachable fluid head tripod. Let's look at the mounting process, for which my main camera has to be in the frame, and this gives my iPhone 6 an opportunity to prove its video capturing capabilities. So here we go. This tripod that I'm using today is not one of those expensive Manfrottos, but it's still a heavy-duty tripod that has substantial weight to it, and it also has a detachable fluid head, which I strongly recommend. The mounting process is simple. You first unmount the fluid head and mount the slider directly on the tripod, and then mount the fluid head back on the slider, and finally the camera on the fluid head. And you're ready to capture some smooth sliding footage. You can upgrade to Edelkrone's target module and action module that can automate the sliding process with precise timelines, but I decided to get there gradually. I'm having fun shooting with the slider in its bare minimum form. There's definitely a learning curve and a lot to be explored in the manual mode, and that's where the fun is. By the way, if you enjoy videography like I do, it's one of my favorite hobbies, then please do watch my most popular video so far on YouTube, where I automate a drone to take aerial shots of my car while I was driving it. Here's a link to it. And if you like this video, please hit the like button and do subscribe to my channel. Thank you.